And that's the interesting thing about change, is that we all hear it. We all understand it. We've all heard the presentations. We've all read the articles, haven't we? But yet, we choose to ignore it. And there's a reason for that. And it goes back years and years ago when Plato first talked about the chariot and the rider. And he talked about the fact that the rider was the intellectual or the rational part of the brain. And the horse that was driving the chariot was the emotional part. Now, more recently, we've started talking about it as the elephant and the rider. And I kind of like this visual because, as you can appreciate, when you're sitting on top of the elephant and you're rationally telling that elephant where to go, that's great until the elephant decides to go somewhere else. And then what chance does a 180, 200-pound person sitting on top of a 6-ton elephant have to try to make things, to move things forward? And for me, they represent the two parts of the brain, the two elements of the brain, the rational and the emotional. And all too often, when we talk about change, we're really, really good at explaining the whys and talking about all the rational reasons for why change is so important. And we forget to get people engaged emotionally. Now, let's be honest, change is hard. But you know what? That's good. I love the fact that change is hard. And the reason I love the fact that change is hard, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if everybody did it, then you wouldn't have the opportunity to create a competitive advantage while everybody else is complaining about how hard change is. Now, I have a picture here of a garbage can. How many people have ever taken their garbage can and moved it to the other side of their desk? And what do? You throw your garbage on the floor for days, if not weeks afterwards, because you're into that habit. And that's the issue with change. That status quo, that comfort zone, we immediately just fall back into it. So it has to be very intentional, and there has to be a good reason for why you want to bring change about. And so when I think of change, everything starts with your heart. Everything starts with your emotion. If you don't wrap emotion around the whole change equation, you will never be successful. In fact, if you can't figure out how to do that, then I would suggest don't change. Because you will screw it up worse than when you started. Because you'll offend people, you get people upset. So if you're not going to go the full route, then don't even start.